From the very first days we open our eyes, we are in search of the other. A baby finds comfort in its mother's arm. A child discovers joy through play with peers. An adult finds meaning in conversation with a friend. Whether we like it or not, we humans are social creatures, beings whose minds and hearts are built to live in connection with others. Loneliness, contrary to common belief, doesn't always mean the absence of people around us. One can be surrounded by crowds and still feel utterly alone because no one understands. In contrast, the mere presence of one genuine friend, even miles away, can make the world seem gentle again. Friendship is one of the deepest and rarest bonds known to humankind, a relationship formed freely, without obligation, law, or blood. There is no hierarchy, no financial interest, no expectation. What exists instead is trust, affection, and a feeling of safety. I have had a friend since as far back as my memory goes. Someone whose presence is like a thread woven through every memory of my life. We were neighbors, living a few houses apart on the same dusty street where the evening call to prayer echoed from the mosque and the smell of freshly baked bread drifted from the bakery down the road. We also had a distant family relation, but what truly connected us was our age and something deeper, a natural closeness of spirit. We spent all our childhood and school years together, up to the end of high school. We rode bicycles side by side, watched cartoons, made plans for what we would become when we grew up. We fought sometimes, of course, but never stopped being friends. There was always a quiet security in that bond, a sense that no matter what, we belonged in each other's world. In childhood, friendships are simple. No one pretends, no one calculates. That simplicity and honesty gives those early relationships a purity that's hard to find again. Later in life, everything becomes layered. We weigh our words, analyze our feelings, and approach new people with caution. It's hard to open our hearts once we have learned how easily they can be hurt. Neuroscientists have shown that social connection is vital to the human brain. The reward system and prefrontal cortex, the very regions that control motivation and emotion, light up when we interact with friends. Laughter and conversation with a close companion trigger the release of dopamine, the same happiness hormone released during success or pleasure. That's why we feel lighter, calmer, and somehow more ourselves after spending time with a trusted friend. Friendship then isn't merely an emotional luxury, it's a biological necessity. Research from Harvard's 80-year long study of adult development, one of the longest studies on happiness, found that the single most important predictor of a good life isn't wealth or fame, but the quality of one's relationships. Friendship literally keeps us healthier, happier, and mentally more resilient. In life, we form many kinds of relationships: family, professional, romantic, social, etc. Each fulfills a different need, but none can replace the other. Family gives us roots, love gives us passion, but friendship gives us refuge. You might grow up in a warm, supportive family, but without a friend to confide in freely, part of your inner self remains silent. You might succeed in your career and get along well with colleagues, but that can't substitute for the comfort of a genuine friendship. A real friend is someone with whom you can sit in silence and still feel understood. You don't need to explain. They see you. That kind of connection rarely exists in family or work relationships because Those often come with roles, expectation, and unspoken rules. Friendship, by contrast, is voluntary and equal, and that's what makes it sacred. Childhood is the soil where lifelong friendships often take root. The mind of a child is still open, unguarded, and pure. There are no social masks, no fear of judgment, no hidden agendas. On the playground, in the schoolyard, during games and quarrels, a child learns fundamental social lessons to share, to forgive, to care. Friendship is Friendship in childhood teaches empathy, the ability to see beyond oneself. In today's digital world, where children spend more time behind screens than face to face with peers, these lessons are fading. A child who grows up without real friendship often becomes an adult who struggles to trust, to communicate, or to connect. Forming deep friendship as an adult is one of life's greatest challenges. By then, we have been hurt, disappointed, and taught to guard ourselves. We carry the weight of past betrayals, making us reluctant to trust again. At work, relationships are often shaped by professional interests. Online connections are fleeting and shallow. Within families, predefined roles can limit emotional openness. Amid such constraints, finding a true friend, someone whose presence comforts without conditions, is a gift. Yet it is not impossible. People who are honest with themselves tend to form better friendships. True friendship requires vulnerability, the courage to reveal our fears, our flaws, and our humanity. Only through such openness can trust be born. Psychology has long confirmed that healthy friendships are crucial to mental well being. People with close friends are less likely to suffer from depression, anxiety, and loneliness. A friend serves as a mirror, one that reflects our truest self without judgment. You can talk, laugh, cry, and simply exist together. Even the simplest activities, walking, having tea, sitting in silence, take on meaning in their company because friendship offers psychological freedom rarely found elsewhere. During times of crisis, a friend can be a difference between despair and survival. Many who have battled depression say that what saved them wasn't therapy or medication alone, but the unwavering presence of a friend, someone who simply listened without advice or criticism. One of our deepest human needs is the need to belong, to know that someone out there cares, that our presence matters. A true friend fulfills that need, knowing that someone misses you, rejoices in your happiness, and shares your pain makes existence meaningful. In an increasingly cold and individualistic world, friendship becomes an act of resistance, a refusal to let alienation win. A friend is a bridge between self and worth, between loneliness and connection. Social media has transformed and, in some ways, distorted the meaning of friendship. A friend today often means someone who likes your photos, not someone who asks how you are. We are connected to hundreds, yet intimately known by few. We live in an age of hyper communication but deep isolation. We scroll, react, and share, but rarely connect. That's the paradox of modernity: more contact, less connection. Perhaps we need to return to the essence, to unplanned conversations, aimless walks, laughter without agenda. True friendship thrives in simplicity, not performance. Friendship isn't only about the other person, it's about us. In a friend's eye, we see who we truly are. Through shared experiences, conversations, and even conflicts, parts of our own soul become visible. A true friend reminds us who we once were and helps us to see who we might become. They witness our growth from childhood to adulthood, and that continuity gives the relationship its unique depth. As time passes, friendship changes. We no longer meet every day as we did in school. Distance, work, marriage, and responsibility intervene. But real friendship doesn't fade with absence. Months may pass without meeting, yet when we reunite, it feels as though no time has passed at all. That timeless connection is the mark of genuine friendship, one built not on constant presence but on constant trust. In a fast, chaotic, and often harsh world, friendship remains one of the last sanctuaries for the soul. It's where we can breathe, where we can exist without masks or pretenses. To stay mentally and emotionally healthy, we all need friends. Not many, just a few true ones. A real friend not only shares our joys and sorrows, but restores our faith in humanity itself. If you are lucky enough to find even one such person in your lifetime, you have received your share of life's meaning and comfort. And I consider myself lucky because I still have the same childhood friend.